Next, can economic outcomes be designed within municipal jurisdiction or do they spill over into the larger region? Which of these are most appropriate under what circumstances? Explain. Question is that generally economic outcomes, let's say that development in any area, whether it should be only in the municipal corporation area or we should extend it outside the municipal corporation area. Right. Like say we have the satellite town concept. There are satellite towns, extended areas, right. So whether development should take place outside the city or within the city, within that jurisdiction of municipal corporation. So both models should be followed. Let's say that when it happens within the jurisdiction of corporation, so there is symmetry in case of administration, right, governance, urban governance, right, structure, functions, regulations of economic activities. So that can be done more effectively. Right. If it happens outside its jurisdiction, so there can be problem in regulation, right, governance, right. For example, let's say that NCR, we say Delhi NCR, right. So Delhi NCR is a product of economic development outside the jurisdiction of municipal corporation or this urban body, and they are part of other such, let's say that corporations. So they are not part of one such, let's say urban areas. Rather, they come and part of some other areas. Let's say Noida area, and we are developing Noida area. Yeah, let's say government, UP government or central government, they will develop. Let's say Gurgaon that we have, right? Or let's say you have Faridabad area. So these areas are being extended outside the Delhi because urban areas they may have also lack of space, right? There can be lack of space. The urban area may not be able to accommodate the developments, right? So development should also happen outside. It cannot be necessarily within that jurisdiction. Why? It is because let's say that in our country urbanization is not planned. Since it is not a planned development, right? So planned development nahi hai. It happens in a haphazard way, and therefore this is how let's say we may not be able to, right, beforehand adopt this model, right, and grow any urban area. Right. Second aspect is that ki influx migration factor. In our country, there is more distress migration in urban areas, and when we have a distress migration in urban areas, so this is how urban areas have become highly crowded, right? And that has also forced, let's say that business to get settle outside the city or go to the satellite town. So this is how we have to explain this question. Let's take next question. This is a recommendation by MM Punchi Commission. MM Punchi Commission has recommended that the recommendation is that there should be a local list. In this question, you need to write first about the 73rd, 74th Amendment, devolution status. What is the devolution status? So, devolution status we do not find very satisfactory. So, Schedule 11, 29 subjects, Schedule 12, 18 subjects. We find that over 25 subjects, some states, that's 15 to 20 subjects, most of the states. 4 subjects, I think, or 6 subjects. Lowest is Punjab. ARC second. So the 73rd or 74th amendments have been carried out. We do not find that the subjects, let's say 29 subjects have not been devolved to them. Right. Same case happened with this, but we do not have any fact on this how exactly it is. Then we have a devolution index. Devolution index is prepared from 3F. Generally, top states are, let's say, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh. These are some states which are coming on this. Better states. So, if you go to the bottom level, so you see that states like Jharkhand, right? Jharkhand will come, Odisha will come, Uttar Pradesh will come, Punjab will come. They will come on the bottom level. So that should be written how actually status. Some facts should be written. This is how it is. Devolution index you can Googleize. So latest devolution index will come. सिंपल आप एक दो फैक्ट्स याद कर लो टॉप में कौन है दिस इज हाउ इट इज बॉटम वाला एक दो याद रख लो इसलिए वो रैंक हमेशा चेंज होता रहता है हर साल अलग अलग डेवल्यूशन इंडेक्स आएगा तो रैंक चेंज होगा रैंक से कोई मतलब नहीं है बट मतलब है सिर्फ मेंशन करने का डेवल्यूशन इंडेक्स अकॉर्डिंग टू डेवल्यूशन इंडेक्स वी फाइंड दैट कि दिस हैज नॉट बीन डन ARC सेकेंड सेज दैट कि दिस इज हाउ इट हैज हैपेंड कुछ तो फैक्ट्स होना चाहिए आंसर में राइट Now then you argue that 73rd, 74th amendments were carried out after 40 years of evolution of Panchayati Raj others, so that there should be a real devolution. It's not that Panchayati Raj or local bodies should wait another 30, 40 years for that. Right. So these amendments were carried out so that the subjects in this 11th and 12th schedules are devolved to them and they are empowered. That has not happened. And since it has not happened because they are left to the states, therefore Punchi Commission recommends that it's better to create a local list in Schedule 7 so that they will derive their power directly from that schedule instead of being dependent on states. Right. Schedule 7 में जब आप mention कर दोगे वो ऐसा schedule है कि now they will not be dependent on states. Schedule 7 का status ये है कि they will derive directly power from them. Like say states derive their power from Schedule 7. They are not dependent on center. Right. So similarly, local bodies will also derive their power from them. They will not be dependent on states. The issue is, can we make it? So idea appears to be very good that yes, they will get empowered, but you will create lots of problems. You should reject the idea. You should not accept this idea. Three-tier structure. How we will be creating synchronization of the subjects. Right. And mentioning in Schedule 7 means also legislative power, whether they will have legislative power. Right. So when they will get legislative power, so conflict between union state and local bodies law-making power. Imagine what will happen. You have 2.5 lakh panchayats. So legal dispute. And where will be original jurisdiction? So it will create, let's say that we have to decide whether they should be given legislative power, and since you will decide on them, so you will not make local list at par with union list, state list and concurrent list. So there is no any logic in mentioning in Schedule 7. Right. Rather, what we should do is that we should devolve the powers the way the other states have done, the way these states have done. So similarly, other states should also do. Right. There should be competitive federalism. This is how you can say that. Other states should learn from these topmost states how they have devolved the power to local bodies. So this should be written. discuss, sorry, social audit, discuss the role of social audit in making governance at cutting edge level more participative, accountable, transparent. Does it have transferability and social? Nobody has any fact. See, this is how I will tell you that कि facts you do not write. बिना facts के ये सब आंसर नहीं हो सकता है. Right. You should learn. We have given one model, Karnataka model, sorry, Andhra Pradesh model. You read that model. Facts we have also given. Right. Some other facts will give you after prelim. Some critical. Anyhow, the question is that कुछ तो फैक्ट्स लिखना चाहिए. सोशल ऑडिट के बारे में जनरल नहीं लिख करके स्पेसिफिक लिखना चाहिए. सोशल ऑडिट इज पीपल ऑडिट, right? Public audit, audit done by people. Right? It is applied at local level. Right? According to Manrega, Gram Sabha has legal power, statutory power to carry out social audit of Manrega. Because of social audit, Manrega is also very effectively implemented program. Right? This is called specific content. Right? तो आप तो लिखना शुरू कर दोगे तो हर चीज में ट्रांसपेरेंसी, अकाउंटेबिलिटी, पार्टिसिपेशन आ जाएगा. स्पेसिफिक कंटेंट, बेसिक कंटेंट शुड बी लीड. दिस इज कॉल्ड आल्सो लूसिड राइटिंग. Then you write that the social audit by itself, it is known to public audit. It means the people will participate in the process of audit. And when people will participate, so it becomes participative. Participation, it becomes transparent. Right. This is how. And third term is accountable. Yes. And then public functionaries can be made accountable. Right. ज़्यादा कुछ और करना है तो this is how it is. You make a table, divide it, mention it, participation, transparency, accountability, और कुछ भी यहाँ पे लिख दो जो समझ में आता है. नो, थोड़ा नया हो जाएगा, चेंज हो जाएगा. So participation, people participate in the audit process. Right. Gram Sabha, civil society, MKSS, कुछ तो लिख दो यहाँ पर. Right. Transparency, government become inside out, public SNG exposed, their records, accounts, records, etc. can be scrutinized. Right. It brings openness, accountability, so their answerability of the decision will be upheld. Right. Exposures can happen, exposures may happen, it can work as a check. Right. So this is how they can be made answerable. So this is called, let's say, specific answer, focusing on the question which is given. Right. And then come to this, the second part. Does it have a transformative impact on local administration? Right. So see, it is very difficult to say that it has a transformative effect because we do not have any conclusive evidence on this. We can say it has brought transformation, but certainly we can say that it has brought, let's say, change at local level. और MKSS का कम से कम एग्जाम्पल तो देना चाहिए ना. सोशल ऑडिट कहीं आए और MKSS की बात नहीं हो तो कहाँ से हो सकता है पेपर सेकेंड में. So this is what we should write. MKSS, जन सुनवाई, उसका इफेक्ट क्या होता है, एटलीस्ट वो फैक्ट देना चाहिए. पब्लिक हियरिंग, एक फैक्ट तो मैं ही रिपीट करता रहा हूँ. 15,000 rupee was returned by a junior engineer in one such public hearing. Great. जूनियर इंजीनियर ने 15,000 रिटर्न कर दिया. दिस इज हाउ कम ही विल आउट ऑफ ह्यूमिलिएशन. उसको ह्यूमिलिएशन फील हुआ तो ही रिटर्न. तो MKSS लिखना चाहिए, रेफरेंस देना चाहिए. दिस इज हाउ इट इज. बिना फैक्ट्स का कैसे हो सकता है? सम sort of Andhra Pradesh model is also very popular. Right. It is the only model which is institutionalized, supported by the state government. Right. So supported by the state government. And it has a specific name. This is known as Society for Social Audit, Accountability and Transparency. Right. This model is known as Society for Social Audit, Accountability and Transparency. Right. Then you write कि it is not, let's say it has many problems. The problems should be written. Right. The problems are, तो एक फैक्ट तो इसी में दिया है, 100 taluks etc. have been studied. In that 100 social audits have been studied. It has been found that the follow-up actions were not there. Even if corruptions were exposed, the study was conducted in Andhra Pradesh itself. Right. This second is that since in social audit we do not have, let's say audits are carried out, but we don't have follow-up mechanisms where the complaints should be filed, action should be taken. So grievance redressal mechanisms are not there, as let's say, or unlike in RTI where there is a grievance redressal mechanism. So this is how it is not effective. Second is that the people are apathetic. Apathetic in the sense that the people know that even if exposure will be there, action will not be there. Great. So people have lack of trust in, let's say, government machineries, that if they expose, there will be action, rather they will be harassed. Great. Citizen awareness regarding various programs and social audit. Great. Nexus, let's say in local level पे भी nexus होता है. यादव यादव यादव, सॉरी टू से दैट, मीन्स अभी चल रहा है उत्तर प्रदेश में. Right. Pradhan is also Yadav, sub inspector is also Yadav, contractor is also Yadav. Right. आप समझ सकते हो क्या हो सकता है. Right. Either extreme action or no action. Great. This is how it happens. Anyhow, means nexus is there, local level पे nexus है, सब कुछ fixed है, दिखाने के लिए है. पेपर रिग्स ने सही बोला है, फॉर्मलिज्म. पेपर पे सब कुछ दिखाने के लिए है, एवरीथिंग इज फिक्स. रिक्रूटमेंट हैज ऑलरेडी हैपन and let's say date are announced for formality. Anyhow, this is how can say. ऐसे लिखना चाहिए ना आपको, सोच सोच करके लिखो. रेट जो नॉर्मली है, एक्चुअल में जो चीजें हैं लोकल लेवल पे, तो और कौन सोशल ऑडिट करने के लिए जाएगा? लोग हंसेंगे. जाओ आप बात करो सोशल ऑडिट. समझ जाएगा दिल्ली से आया अभी. पढ़ के आया है दिल्ली से. तो यहाँ का बात करना अच्छा लगता है. राइट. दिल्ली में क्लासरूम में कॉपी में सोशल ऑडिट कर दो. ग्रास रूट लेवल पे सिचुएशन बिल्कुल अलग है. कोई कन्विंस ही नहीं होगा. जाओ 10 लोगों को कन्विंस करो, कोई नहीं आएगा जब तक उसको लालच नहीं दोगे. चलो समोसा खिलाएंगे. वो समोसे के लिए जा रहा है. नहीं तो काम से पहले मत खिलाना उसको. ये तो कुछ बहाना मार के भाग जाएगा वो. So this is how it happens. तो ग्रासरूट लेवल पे यहाँ पे सोशल ऑडिट कंसेप्ट बहुत अच्छा लगता है, गुड कंसेप्ट, बट पीपल एट ग्रासरूट लेवल आर वेरी मच लेट्स से दैट कि apathetic, indifferent, right? This happens. Things will not change, right? And because of that, let's say trust is not there, right? And these factors affect. So this is how it should have been written. Therefore, you should write that there should be a complaint mechanism, follow-up action, right? So means we should ensure institutionally that if there is exposure, so there is action. Establish a link between exposure and action, right? So long as we do not have a strong link between exposure and action, people will not come forward. Right? And social audit will not be effective. Even in, let's say, Manrega, we talk about social audit, but let's say even CAG audit 2012 says ki how many corruptions are there. So under Manrega only, let's say that you have the statutory audit, this is called social audit. Under Manrega it has been given, and CAG audit says in 2012 that how in Manrega you have leakage and corruption. So where is social audit that is effective? Right. Quality of job suffers. Job cards, fake job cards that we have. Right. Even works have not been done and mentioned in the paper that these works have been done. Right. और कहीं कहीं में हमने सुना है कि वो लता मंगेशकर और सचिन तेंदुलकर का भी नाम है जॉब कार्ड, रिकी पोंटिंग का भी नाम है, किसी और क्लास में किसी ने बोला है. दिस इज हाउ. और महाराष्ट्र में ही ये सोशल ऑडिट का कैग ऑडिट का रिपोर्ट है कि दे हैव मेंशन ऑन पेपर कि लेक्स हैव बीन रिवाइव्ड and when CAG visited, so there are no lakes at all. Right. This is how people job cards have been issued on the people who are no more. Right. So I sarcastically speak, no, you guarantee 100 days even in hell. Right. Government of India gives 100 days employment, वहाँ पे भी देती है. Anyhow, अगर social audit so you should write it. Right. Anyhow, let's take next. So these points can be written in the end. You should write that कि देखो आंसर में कहीं कहीं ह्यूमर होना चाहिए. दिस इज हाउ इट इज. कहीं कहीं आप ह्यूमर ला सकते हैं. राइट. इट मेक्स योर आंसर मच मोर अपीलिंग. राइट. Anyhow, the question is you should bring appeal power and a strong link between action and exposure. Then it will happen. And institution means government should make it a policy. It should be institutionalized. State government, the way other states like Andhra Pradesh have tried to institutionalize, other states should also institutionalize. So this is how the answer. Let's take next. Manrega, you write some pros and cons. Important pros and cons should be written. Major facts should be written. This is how I can say that. Then whether it should be linked to infrastructure development. Major facts are, let's say that Manrega, so it guarantees, let's say 33% reservation to women. Women participation has increased. That should be one. Right. It has ensured livelihood to the people, which is also a fundamental right and the right to life and liberty. It has reduced displaced migration. Right. It has generated demand in the economy when Indian economy was facing crisis. Right. It is bringing, let's say that, change, socio-economic transformation at grassroots level. Right. Socio-economic transformation at grassroots level means, let's say that weaker section of the society, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, women, they are getting employment 100 days, so it brings structural change in the economy. Right. means it is somehow transforming the economy from agrarian economy to non-agrarian economy. Right. So less dependence on agriculture. This happens. Karnataka, Punjab, they are the two states where there we have more than 50% workers for the first time dependent on non-agricultural activity. Right. This happened. 11 5-year plan because of this program became inclusive. 11 5-year plan is considered that it has brought inclusive growth. Because of this also one factor is Manrega. This happened. Income of the vulnerable section of the society because of Manrega has increased. So they feel more empowered, there is more bargaining power they have. So laborer class, vulnerable sections, they have more bargaining power today in the society. So this is how the empowerment has happened. This should be written. Right. Now it is considered so essential that it is being encouraged even by the Supreme Court, right, to fight against drought. Right. This is how. So that should be, let's say that told. Now whether cons you should write the leakage that of the corruption etc. that we have talked. Then quality of work is not there. It is considered earth work, dig well and fill well. Right. So this is how it has been equated with earth work. Dig well, fill well. Right. तो कुछ symbolic content आना चाहिए. Right. So recently it was in debate. Right. It has been quite in debate. Let's say in Manrega because somehow government does not want to continue. Anyhow, it is statutory law. इसको आप restructure नहीं कर सकते. गवर्नमेंट समझ में नहीं आ रहा वो क्या करे. Anyhow, debate should have been brought in when you are writing, whether it should be negative you write yourself, but write that it is earth work. Earth work is lack of quality in the work, right? Unskilled work. So somehow compared it is dig well, fill well, right? This kind of thing. Right. Demands of the works have declined. Right. Works, let's say 100 days we are not able to provide even in some instances. Leakage, corruption, all these things. Now whether it should be extended or not. You should write that now when it has been 10 years of Manrega, this is how you should have written. Right. After 10 years of Manrega, now it is being said that it appears one phase of Manrega has ended, now we should go for the second phase. And in the second phase that we are talking whether it should be universalized and it should be linked with the infrastructural development. So that we can extend it. Why? Because dig well, fill well type of work we may not be able to generate so long. Right. A certain point of time, the program should cover some semi-skilled areas also. Some, let's say, productive work also. Because how long we will be providing 100 days employment in which you have unskilled work? Right. This is how. So, this is a debate that this is also called Manrega 2.0. Right. So, there is a debate and it should be extended. In rural areas, in infrastructural development, it may not be universalized because universalization may have problem in urban areas because urban areas are very different from rural areas and the nature of works are very different. Largely we have the contractual employment, most of the let's say developmental activities are under the private hand, under the PPP, it will be problematic for the government, but let's say that in rural areas, so it should be extended to the rural infrastructure. Let's say pond, lake, bridges, etc. that you have. So parks, other such project developments in the rural areas. So where let's say that we can further extend the program. So this should be read. Right. And the present government is, this is a debate that present government is right, so willing to extend it to the infrastructural activity. ये राज्यसभा के डिबेट में ये पॉइंट था और गवर्नमेंट का ही ये व्यू है कि ये वी वांट टू एक्सटेंड इट टू द रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक्टिविटी. Anyhow, next, आप क्या पढ़ रहे हो? यू रीड न्यूज़पेपर? अब तो अभी टाइम नहीं है, फिल्म का टाइम है, बट करेंट पढ़ने का टाइम गया। प्रीलिम के बाद तो पढ़ोगे नहीं आप, राइट? प्रीलिम के बाद तो वार, राइट, टू फाइट वार, बेटल एंड्स। करेंट पढ़ने का टाइम क्या है? दिसंबर से लेके जून तक, मई तक, उसमें पढ़ना जितना पढ़ सकते हो, बाकी उसके बाद तो आप मेंटेन करोगे, सस्टेन करोगे। करेंट मतलब आपको सोशल ऑडिट, आरटीआई, सिटीजन चार्टर, कुछ फैक्ट्स गैदर करके रखना चाहिए। वो प्रीलिम के बाद तो नहीं होगा। अरे, तो इस समय के टाइम में ये सब जितने इस तरह के टॉपिक्स है, उस पर ये सारा डिबेट है। यू डू नॉट नो, मनरेगा पे इतना डिबेट हो रहा है, कुछ तो फैक्ट्स होना चाहिए जो डिबेट से चल रहा है। 10 years ऑफ मनरेगा, 10 years ऑफ आरटीआई, अरे बहुत सारे ऐसी चीज़ें हैं कि आपका कुछ फैक्ट्स होना चाहिए। व्हेन यू राइट आंसर, इट डज नॉट अपीयर कि यू नो, यू आर अवेयर अबाउट ऑल दिस डेवलपमेंट। जैसे रर्बन वाला क्वेश्चन है, शायद वही आगे आएगा। रर्बन वाला है तो उसमें कोई फैक्ट ही नहीं है। एक दो क्वेश्चन तो स्कीम आएगा ही आएगा, दोनों पेपर में, जीएस में और पब्लिक एड में, एक दो स्कीम से तो आएगा ही क्वेश्चन। वो क्या आएगा? दो चार प्रोग्राम है, दे कीप रिपीटिंग। ऐसा भी नहीं कि हर प्रोग्राम को वो पूछेंगे। एनी हाउ, विसल ब्लोअर वाले में भी आपको नहीं पता है क्या अमेंडमेंट्स हुआ है। हालांकि ये क्वेश्चन है, चूंकि पब्लिक एड में आया नहीं है इसलिए भी है बात, जीएस में उन्होंने पूछ लिया है, बट पब्लिक एड में ये सारे इश्यूज नहीं आए हैं इधर लास्ट में, तो दिस इज हाउ वी आर आस्किंग। इट इज स्टिल रेलेवेंट फॉर पब्लिक एड। यू रीड दोज फैक्ट्स आई हैव वी हैव गिवन की विसल ब्लोअर लॉ के बारे में। आई विल स्किप इट। इन प्रैक्टिस विसल ब्लोअर लॉ, सो लॉ के बारे में राइट, देयर इज अ लॉ व्हिच वाज एनेक्टेड इन 2013, राइट। विसल ब्लोअर लॉ वाज नीडेड बिकॉज, आप थोड़ा ओरिजिन से लिखो, सत्येंद्र दुबे, द मर्डर ऑफ सत्येंद्र दुबे, वहीं से तो डिबेट होता है विसल ब्लोअर लॉ के बारे में हमारे देश में। right? जब तक कोई बड़ा इंसिडेंट नहीं होता है तो हम नहीं जागते। वी लिव इन स्लम्बर। बहुत थोड़े दिन के लिए जागते हैं, फिर चले जाते हैं। तो ओरिजिन लिखना चाहिए, इसलिए कि उसका अपील पावर अलग होगा। Whistleblowers, so whistleblowing law is needed to give protection and encourage public servants to blow whistle, because we find that the corruptions on the other hand have increased in public areas. What happens day to day basis, corruptions, right? So law was needed to empower it. Already we have seen the Satyendra Dubey case, that how, let's say, he was murdered for blowing whistle, right? So the law is needed to streamline the whistleblowing activities, a mechanism where the complaints can be filed and actions will be taken, and the legal protection. In this direction, whistleblower law has been made, and right, one two features of that. However, when the new government has come, it has brought some amendments. Right. So those amendments, there are 10 categories of information which cannot be disclosed. If disclosed, there are certain process mechanisms. Other such points, you read it. This we have given in this note. What are the other amendments? Analysis is also given. It is considered that when amendment has been brought, so it has weakened the whistleblower law. Right. So whistleblower law has become further weak. Like already, let's say, information, certain category of information, 10 category of information, and in that there is no grievance redressal. Although in RTI there is a grievance redressal. If you do not get information, so there is a follow-up channel. But in these 10 category of information, let's say, so no such grievance redressal has been provided to any public servant who will, let's say, disclose. Right. So this is how it happens. Then there is a lack of protection to the name. Right. The name will not be protected. So it is being said that now this act has further diluted. Right. Further diluted the very, let's say that, philosophy behind the whistleblower law to protect those who blow whistle. However, आपको यहाँ पे justify करना है, what is this comment? Yes. However, you should write that this amendment has been done on the basis of a perception, right? Perception in the government that in last 10 years or 15 years, people have been given too much rights, so many rights without responsibility, and that is affecting our governance and development, decision making in government. This is how it is. So because of this perception, let's say that it appears that we are going slow on whistleblower law, right? So this you should write it. Why we are saying it? Let me say that कि हमने गवर्नमेंट जो RTI भी अमेंड करना चाहती है, गवर्नमेंट ऑलरेडी प्रिवेंशन ऑफ करप्शन एक्ट भी अमेंड करना चाहती है, गवर्नमेंट वो सारे इम्पेडमेंट्स हटाना चाहती है जहाँ से स्पीडी डिसीजन मेकिंग अफेक्ट होता है, राइट? दिस इज हाउ यू शुड नो इट, and it is based on, let's say, India Today. India Today had a special coverage on whistleblowing, right? In that special, last year India Today, one issue was only on whistleblowers, and in that whistleblower, this is how the very old system, you know, crime कहाँ हुआ था, रेप केसेस में आप जानते हो कैसे इन्वेस्टिगेशन होता है, already you know it, right? So it is recommended कि how you should carry out investigation, evidence gathering, witness protection, perjury. So all these things are mentioned, let's say that, as of now for perjury, etc., protection of witness. So these things are not mentioned in, let's say that the laws, the criminal justice system, it does not provide, let's say, very strong, let's say, legal protection to the witness and others, and when they become hostile. So question is on these aspects, right? And that's how it happens कि crimes are committed and they are acquitted. Jessica Lal murder case, judge also knows कि yes murder हुआ है, but judge is acquitting that person. क्यों? Want of evidence. Imagine. So judge knows कि yes the person he has murdered, but evidence नहीं है तो वो punishment नहीं दे सकता है. जब दूसरे दिन जब एक बार जब अक्विट करते हो, सुबह लोग पीपल अपराइज एंड गो टू द इंडिया गेट, सॉरी इंडिया गेट, देन यू टेक सुओमोटो केस. तो हर केस में तो लोग प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे नहीं, राइट? मेनी केसेस, लेट्स से देयर आर, लेट्स से कि रेप इंसिडेंट्स वेयर यू हैव, लेट्स से पनिशमेंट रेट इज वेरी लो, राइट? And when जब इस तरह का इंसिडेंट होगा the people do not have courage to go. Where is justice? Right. Similarly, many such cases, this is how happens. Many other such murder case, offences case, where we have criminal offences, you know what happens. So Malimath committee has recommended, this is how, let's say that, you reform all these areas. There should be reformation. They should be given independence. You should define who will become public prosecutor, how the public prosecutor will be appointed, and how the autonomy will be given. It talks about how witness should be gathered, how witness should be given protection. It talks about plea bargaining. Right. In criminal offences also there should be plea bargaining. Right. So it talks about a restorative criminal justice system. Right. So a restorative criminal justice system it talks. It means it talks about categorization of cases. The Indian Penal Code cases should be categorized as social offense, economic offense, right? So social offense, economic offense, right? Means I'm forgetting there are two more categorization. Right, civil offense, yes, civil offense, and then criminal offense. Right. So social offense जिसमें family में social relations, this is how comes. Economic offense means economic in nature. Civil offense, so they will categorize certain cases, and then Indian criminal offense की a case which is punishable 7 or more years. So a case which is punishable 7 or more years, that should come under criminal offense. Others should be categorized in civil, social, and economic. Right. This is how it is. So this is what it talks about bringing reforms. Within that, let's say that it talks about police reforms, because police is responsible for investigation and prosecution. Right. So police reforms should also be there. So police reforms will be more or less similar to what other committee commissions are recommending. Separation of investigation from law and order police. These points should have been written in this question. Let's take next. E-question. Simple transform the prevalence of administrative system into political system at district level and analyze the statement. 73rd Amendment has failed to transform. Yes. See, it requires some macro view, macro perspective. The macro perspective is that 73rd Amendment envisages to establish a political system at local level, right? 3-tier level. At 3-tier level, traditionally we have administrative system, which is a British legacy. After independence, this British legacy was not done away with, right? Even during British time, the first two level, union level and state level, there was political dominance through popular, let's say, giving in to popular demands by the Britishers. So they give in to popular demands, and this is result into emergence of a political system at center and political system at state level, but administrative system continues at district level under the help of district magistrate. The 23rd Amendment tried to address this problem by, let's say, bringing a political system over administrative system. Right. The 3-tier Panchayati Raj institutions, and this is how, let's say, that that will become the institution of self-governance, and the power from district administration should be shifted to Panchayati Raj institutions. Right. This is how. Let's say DRDA should be merged. Right. DRDA should be merged with Panchayati Raj institutions, Jila Parishad. Right. Similarly, this district development, district planning committee should be there. In past, it used to be the district magistrate for planning and development, let's say, but now it will happen that this is the district planning committee, which will be a nodal agency under the chairmanship of Jila Parishad. Right. So somehow we try to establish a political system, but it has not happened. Why? Because of two factors. One, that the Panchayati Raj institutions have not been very strong. Right. So there has been lack of strong emergence of Panchayati Raj institutions. Right. Panchayati Raj institutions or PRIs are also weak. They are also corrupt. Right. So there is a lack of trust. Second, concern for, let's say, that development, governance, right, and leadership. The concern for development, governance, and leadership, like at district level, at least you should have, right, any functionary under which they all other, let's say, the functional units are in control. Right. So that has not resulted into devolution of power. Right. This has happened. Means somehow we find that state governments are in some dilemma. What they should do. Right. If they empower Panchayati Raj institutions, right, they will have to shift power. And if Panchayati Raj institutions, we find that how they are also very inefficient, not very effective. So situation can be worse than what we have. Right. This has happened. or let's say some chief ministers giving preference to district magistrate over Panchayati Raj institutions. That has also happened. Like even the present government will find that the present government under let's say Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana, it is the district magistrate who is responsible let's say for village level planning rather than let's say Jila Parishad. Right. So this is how you have to write that ki Panchayati Raj institutions have not been strong, and there are many reasons for that. Since they have not been strong, the powers have not been shifted. Right. In fact, many states we find that ki DRDA has not been merged. So DRDA has not been merged with Jila Parishad. Let's say Gujarat Maharashtra model still continues even after 73rd Amendment. Under Gujarat Maharashtra model, the development is the separate function of a district development officer. Right. So developmental activities have not been shifted to Jila Parishad, Panchayati Raj institution. Still you maintain that separate administrative unit. So this is how let's say that has resulted into right institutional jungle type. Let's say that there is no any unified system at district level. Right. District administration, Panchayati Raj institutions, both function side by side.